Hi everybody, hope you're well. Welcome back to another video. Now this video is kindly sponsored by Temu, who asked me if I'd be interested in spending money on their online store. To which I said, yeah, sure, why not? So they gave me over 150 quid and they then said, why don't you go ahead and spend it on all things camping and caravanning? Now, that's when it came to a bit of a sticky wicket, because as you can probably imagine, there ain't an awful lot that I need or want. But I did have an idea for a video, and I went back to them and I suggested this to them and they said yes. And that video is a remake of a video I made quite the few years ago, where I shared with you what my box of bits or my toolbox was that I had in the caravan. Now, since I made that video, a lot of the tools have disappeared, put away, left, forgotten. Basically the toolbox is nothing like what it once was, and in fact there's major gaps in my toolbox that I carry around in the caravan. So much so that I had planned to make this video in the future anyway, of remaking a fantasy toolbox for use in the caravan, because there's a few bits and bobs that we need in the caravan which you wouldn't ordinarily keep at home. So this video is exactly that. I've got £150 to spend on the Temu store, for all things in this toolbox related, even in fact the tool bag or the toolbox that I need. I've got in here a few suggestions and a few ideas of things that I want to purchase. So I'm going to sit down in a moment and we're going to buy all the bits that I think I need for a caravan toolbox. Then when the stuff is delivered, I'm going to unpack it and I'm going to share with you what I've got. So let's sit down, grab a drink and let's make a start. I won't bore you with the process of me searching and finding products. I will show you, however, that if you download the Temu app and search for the code DWE7974, you will see all the products that I'm currently buying and also get some other related products too. As a bonus, Temu are also giving you a £100 coupon code as well that you can redeem when you purchase any qualifying products from my selection. I've placed a link to this coupon code in the description, or you can scan the QR code on screen right now. Be aware that this coupon code only lasts for 24 hours once you've redeemed it, so don't hang about. Right, that's everything ordered. Happy with that. 23 items, just shy of 150 quid. And yes, quite happy with the selection. A few bits in there are not for the toolbox. I will admit that now, went a bit wild. But there's a couple of items there that I'm going to be really interested to see the quality of them, because they were quite cheap, quite affordable. One item in particular was just over £1. So let's see what that turns out like. So for now, I've just got to play the waiting game. The delivery will be probably next week for me, but for you, I'll be back up here in a few seconds and we'll go through all the kit together. 3 to 5 business days later. Right, I've had a delivery. In fact, I've had 2 deliveries. That's why it was between 3 to 5 business days. Well, this one turned up 3 days after I ordered it. This one turned up 5 days after. Not bad really, considering there was a bank holiday in between me ordering and receiving this packages. Just for clarity and transparency, I have opened them because I wanted to see if there was any paperwork in there, but I haven't gone through any of the products. So let me get the camera set up. Let's go over to the kitchen and let's go through what I've bought. You can see there's quite a selection of stuff there. Some of it won't go into the toolkit, admittedly. There's a few extra bits here, but by and large, I'm very happy with everything that I've bought. So let's make a start. So first up, let's get some of the bigger items out of the way. We've got this, a screwdriver bit set, so a handle and then multi-purpose ends to them as well. There we go, there's a selection of what we've got. So you can see it's got quite a selection. We've got some Torx in here as well. That's going to be useful for when we need to redo the skylight and clean that. So that's very good. Let's just pop this open and have a look. Oh, we've got an electrical tester here. That's nice. And let's just pick one of those out. Oh, that's going to be perfect. So there we go. That's our first selection there. A nice set of screwdrivers. Next, we've got some pliers, some side cutters. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so, I mean, what can you say about a pair of pliers? They're chunky. Side cutters, they're chunky. And I've got some thin nose pliers as well. They're going to be good. For around the van, for anything that needs taken apart or around that, I've mentioned it before in previous videos, trim tools. These are incredibly useful if you ever need to take anything apart in the van. So I've got myself a set of trim tools, handy removal tools, spudgers, things like that. I did pick up that. It's a electric screwdriver. It's got tiny bits in it for tiny things. So whereas the last screwdriver set I've got, which I've just shown you, was fairly big, Torx sets and what have you, if you need to do anything intricate or fine or small, this will be very, very handy indeed. It's a Type-C rechargeable, which is quite nice. What sort of bits have we got there? Well, we've got some Torx, some very fine screwdrivers, some very fine ends, some weird shaped ones there, some hex keys, square ones. So yes, there's some useful bits in that one. Now this is one that I was really interested in. I bought this not because I needed it, but it was pure fascination and curiosity really. And that is this screwdriver pen here. This costs just over £1. And in here somewhere, oh there we go, in the end there we've got lots of bits, which I hope you can see there. Nothing special, you know, not like tri-bits or Torx or anything like that, but that's going to be very handy, and that's going to be one that's going to be kept around in the bag. There were some bigger bits there. Now I got these because I didn't think, and I wasn't aware, that screwdriver set had anything like Torx or locking bits or security bits at all. So I got those just on the off chance, with an adapter as well. So I got that just in case that I needed more bits. And you can see there's quite a selection there. Hope you can see that. Brilliant, that's great. I need a big adjustable spanner just in case I need to adjust anything. The only thing I didn't get actually, and I've just realised that I didn't buy it, was a socket set. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think I need a socket set in the van. If I do need to use sockets for anything, then it's very seriously wrong. But that's going to be okay, something fairly useful. Okay, now we're getting on to sort of things that I think would be useful. And I'm not going to open this because obviously you can see why. But we've got insulation tape, different colours. So if you need to mark up your awning, for instance, maybe show what pole goes where, this would be a handy selection to have. But other than that, insulation tape, always handy to have around, just in case you need to make a repair. Now this is a bit of an odd one. I did buy a USB soldering iron. I've never used one before in my life. We've got some flux there, there's some solder there, a stand there, and a rechargeable lead there. This could be a useful kit, you know, especially if I've got a broken cable of anything or something that needs to be reattached. Handy to have around. So I mentioned I've never used one of these before, so I thought, well, I'll bring it home, I'll charge it up, which I have done. It's a USB-C in the back of the device there. So I've charged it up and I thought, do you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's see what it works like. So you get a tip like so, which just inserts into the end like this. There we are. And then we switch it on. We press and hold the power button. And then this thing's going to start to heat up to 420 degrees. That's its maximum, by the way. And I thought, whilst it's heating up, place that there. We'll do a couple of things. We'll solder a cable onto a circuit board. This is an old project board I designed years ago. So I thought we'll solder on those two cables there, which are not connected at the moment. And then we'll have a go and we'll put some cables together as well, as if we were reattaching cables. So once it's up to temperature, as you can see, it's still climbing up in temperature there. Once it's up to temp, we'll give it a go. And we'll use everything in this kit as well. Okay, that's one. So there we go. It's all connected there. You can see it's not my finest work, I imagine, but it's quite difficult doing it behind the camera. I will notice though that this is quite a low power iron, because when I was soldering onto the ground plane there, it did wick away a lot of the heat. So it is quite a low power iron, so it's not going to do anything massive. It's not going to do anything substantial, but it's good for reconnecting cables and wires, etc. So let's wire these two up together. So first of all, let's amalgamate them together into a sort of sensible connection. Just twist them together, and then what we'll do is we'll wire them up and we'll just solder them together like so. There we go. So once we're finished, we just press and hold the power button until it says off, and then put it somewhere safe, out the way, let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, we can remove the tip and pack it all away. Not a bad little kit. It is low power, It won't do massive jobs, so if you've got big cables to solder up, it won't do that. It's quite a low power. I think it's between probably an 8 or a 10 watt iron based on experience, but it's pretty good. I did buy a selection of fuses because it's always handy to have fuses around, but I'll be honest with you, there's more fuses here than I possibly need. There's micro fuses here which are handy for the car, blade fuses here which are used in the van. So I'm going to take a selection of these and I'm going to put them in a small bag, so I'm not going to take that whole thing. And there's another electrical tester there as well, and a fuse puller. That would be handy to keep in the van, definitely, when pulling the fuses out. Next thing I've picked out is a head torch. I'm going to keep this in a bag. Rechargeable again, but it's something I can put on my head. There's a band there as well. Head torch, just in case I need to do anything outside in the dark. Always handy to have torches around, all different shapes, sizes, creeds and colours. I know I bought tape, but I've also bought some gaffer tape as well, just in case anything fairly heavy duty needs to be stuck together or held together. So I've got some gaffer tape. Cable ties, I've got a vast selection here of cable ties, different lengths, different widths. So that's always handy to have. I'm not going to open that because they'll be kept together. I did get myself a small, quite inexpensive multimeter. This is very small, as you can see, but this is going to do more than I ever need around the caravan. It will do voltage, it will do continuity, it can do some current ratings as well, but I mean really around the van all I want to do is just check for voltage and check for continuity, so that's more than enough. I mean, it's got a transistor checker here as well. I don't need any of that, so this is going to be perfect. Got myself some working gloves as well, just in case I need to do anything grubby, greasy or horrible. Let's say take for example changing the spare wheel or doing anything around the hitch which requires a bit of grease, what have you. Pair of nice working gloves there. I also bought myself a spare breakaway cable. That's going to be useful just in case that we do break one. I can quickly reattach it because obviously that's a legal requirement to have. A couple of other things that I bought which are definitely not for the toolbox. This here is a mosquito killer. I was really excited to see this. It's a rechargeable device, comes with a recharging lead, comes with a brush. Let's get it out and have a look. So it's a lamp on the bottom, I believe. It is an insect killer repellent in the middle there. I don't know if you can see that. It shines up purple, like the ones you used to get in the butchers years ago. Hopefully that will attract some insects and repellents. Now the idea of this is I was going to hang this. As you can see, it's hangable. I was going to hang this from the skylight. Yeah, so as you can see, fair enough, it's not pressed into place. There we go. That will go there like so. So there you go. That will hang quite neatly, quite nicely from the skylight. So that hopefully we can get rid of any mozzies here in the caravan. This is going to be brilliant for cleaning our awning rail. I noticed when we were last away it did need a clean, and there's some different sizes and different lengths here which will do a great job. There's this long one here which will fit nicely up into the awning rail. I'm just going to run that through the awning rail. Let's see what rubbish has come out. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but that's very much a different colour now to what it was when it went in. So clearly that is cleaning out the awning rail lovely. So that is a really good use. I like that. Any Bailey owner will know this. Cleaning the front window is a bit of a faff. Now I have got an extendable mop which I use every time we put the towing cover on, but unfortunately the mop head moves around quite a bit and it's just a bit of a problem. So actually when I saw this one on the shop I thought, well, that would be quite useful because the head is stationary and it's a bubble mitt and also a microfiber mitt as well. And the idea of that is it's going to be great for cleaning and wiping down the front window, especially with this infinity window, how high it is. But also, before we put away the canopy or the awning, we always give the roof a wipe down as well to get any muck off, get any detritus, you know, what have you off of it. This is going to be great for that. To put all the stuff in, I did get myself this tool bag. Maybe I need a bigger one. But I think, to be honest with you, it can carry quite a bit of stuff, I think, in here. And I reckon I can probably fill it with all the stuff that I've bought here. And I think that will be quite a good little bag there then. At the moment, we keep all our tent pegs, or our awning pegs, in a bag of life from the supermarket. But this, theoretically, actually it's not that bad. It's going to be big enough to put all our pegs in there. We only need about 40 for any awning or canopy. There's space here for other stuff. I'm not sure what you put in there. Maybe also put a hammer in there as well, a mallet. Who knows? Now I've just spent the last 20 minutes taking more things out of these boxes, more things out of their packaging, and I can now reveal this is now the toolkit. And I think you find, I actually haven't done this yet, so this might have failed. Yeah, I think it will now, it will now close up. The only thing I've taken out is the packaging. I've taken the screwdriver, you know, those bits out of the screwdriver set. I've taken all of those out of the box. Bit of a shame, I know, but it does take up quite a lot of space. So I've taken them out of this case here, and that alone actually just made enough space. And there we go. It does fit and it does seal up. Lovely. That could have been a fail, couldn't it? So there we go. That is my fantasy toolkit. Now there's a few exceptions here, which are stuff I haven't got for a number of reasons. Either I've already had it, I couldn't find it, or I don't need it. Parking plug, I couldn't find it. I don't need them because I've got 3 parking plugs already here in the van. I've probably got one here right next to me. Yeah, one of those I'm talking about. I couldn't find any of those online, but that's okay. Like I said, I've got 3. That's going to go in that bag. Second thing, maybe I needed some sockets, maybe some spanners. I don't think I need those, to be honest with you. If I need anything that needs a socket or a spanner, it's gone a bit beyond my capabilities, to be honest with you. I've got an adjustable spanner, I've got a 19mm socket, I've got a torque wrench if I need to use that at all, but also I've got breaker bars here in the caravan as well for things like spare wheels. I have that in hand. I don't think there's much else that needs a socket or a spanner. Now I did have a look around, I didn't buy anything, but there are plenty of things on the store which you can buy for caravanning, camping, motorhoming, anything you want like that. For instance, you know, I got the Mosquito repellent, but there's other things as well. If you want camping equipment, camping chairs, maybe a cooker, maybe a table, there is plenty out there. Maybe even just another stock up of tent pegs. There is plenty on there to appease you and for you to have a look at. And honestly, it's ridiculously cheap. So that's it from me today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to go and cool down because I am so hot. But please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification icon. If you can do all that, you'll see me next time. Many thank yous and a huge thanks to Temu for sponsoring this video. Please do use the code, as I've mentioned down below. I'll see you in the next video. Take care now, everybody. Bye-bye.